The following is a live presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. Why, hi there, I'm Ron Juckett. Welcome to the program for this second day of March 2022, a beautiful day here in Burlington, Vermont. Get to go out tomorrow, and so today's baseball game is going to be between the Minnesota Twins and the Toronto Blue Jays as we play the games of Wednesday, June 5th, 1985. Now, there's only one more game this week, and we're probably just going to go play to the Friday game, so it'll be June 7th. But starting next Tuesday, and for however many streams we do during the week, we will now go to day-by-day mode. So if you're a fan of Godspell, day by day, day by day. However, when you see the standings, there's not really a lot to day-by-day over. But we will give you a daily fix of baseball, probably 4 days a week, starting next week. And we'll just go one day at a time. And so until those greedy you-know-whats decide to actually put some product on the field. So we'll make up for it, and we start with the Blue Jays and the Twins. The Blue Jays are 33-16. The Twins are 21-28. Just trying to get Toronto some love on the channel. The Blue Jays have a big lead in the American League East. In fact, all four divisions are now 5 games or more, which is just great to start a long-term daily replay of that. So, but it'll be Doyle Alexander and Mike Smithson next, as Retro Sports Network presents Major League Replay 1985. Today from Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, it will be the Blue Jays and the Minnesota Twins. And today's game is brought to you by DigitalDice.com, the best darn podcast on the web for your sports simulation and replay needs. Find us today on Spotify, Spreaker, iTunes, or wherever else fine podcasts are listed. No lockouts here, as Doyle Alexander takes his warm-up tosses. How you doing, midlife crisis? Doyle is 35, making his 12th start of the year. He is 6-4 with an ERA of 3.09. His last start came against the Indians, a 5-hit shutout, 6-0. So going the distance, no lockout. Yeah, that's right. It depends on, and before I read the numbers on Alexander, I just paid for my streaming software for the next year, lock, stock, and barrel. So, nope. As long as Comcast keeps churning, we'll leave the light on for you. Alexander went the route, 136 pitches, 5 hits, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. He faced the Twins May 19th and took the loss, by the way, 5 runs over 8 innings. Overall, 84 and a third innings, 80 hits, 34 runs, 29 earned, 7 homers, 25 walks, and 32 strikeouts. Great minds think alike. So starting next week with the games of Saturday the 8th, you missed me singing, which was probably a good thing. We'll go day by day through at least the middle of April, because I believe it's going to be a couple weeks. I would now think that May 1st would be around when they do it. So we're going to go and play a lot of ball. All right, here's the lineup for the Twins. Kirby Puckett leads off in center field. Mickey Hatcher in left will bat second. Kent Herbeck will go third and play first. Tom Brunansky is in right. He'll clean up. Randy Bush. Again, Randy must have had better numbers in real life than what he's doing for the Twins so far. He'll bat fifth. He's hitting .097 as a DH. Gary Gaetti at third will bat sixth. Timmy Tuffel at second bats seventh. Greg Gagne at short goes eighth. And Tim Laudner behind the plate will bat ninth. Defensively for the Blue Jays, George Bell a 5 and a 5 in left. Lloyd Port Mosby a 5 and a 4 in center. And Jesse Barfield is an 8 and a 10 in right. Rance Mulliniks is a 3 at third. Tony Fernandez is an 8 at short. Damaso Garcia is a 4 at second. Willie Upshaw is a 6 at first. Ernie Witt is a 6 and a 3 behind the plate. Alexander is a 7 on the mound with a .984 fielding percentage. So all that gets you in. It's a beautiful day here in Toronto, 74 degrees, or beautiful evening rather, and the wind is blowing right to left, and I'm assuming that's off Ontario. And if Solapsky was here, he'd be able to tell me. At 17. Kirby at 252, a homer, and 17 RBI. And this one will start with Puckett hitting a ground ball to second. Garcia over to first, 1 out. Brings up Mickey Hatcher, 270, a homer, and 20 RBI. We'll wait for some more people to show up before I give my views on the current status of Major League Baseball. And trust me, I have a thought or 5. Pitch to Hatcher. Line drive to short. Fernandez is there, 2 out. Here's Kent Hrbek, 301. 11 homers and 35 RBI. So, Alexander winds and deals. And there's a little chopper to third. Mullenix is just going to eat it, which is absolutely the smart move. That took a high hop on the artificial surface, as Tony Kubek would say, and Mullenix just knew better. So a single for Hrbek, and that brings up Bernansky at 257, 10 homers and 34 RBI. Alexander winds and deals with 2 out. That's in the right. Barfield, with the wind blowing against him, will make the catch, and that will retire the side. So, no runs, a hit, a runner left, half an inning in the books. The Twins don't score. Here come the Jays. And so future Red Sox pitcher Mike Smithson gets the start, making his 12th of the year. 30 years old, a fastball pitcher, a standard pitcher at 86. His last appearance was on May 30th, so full rest for him in a 6-3 loss to the Red Sox. 8 innings, 118 pitches, 12 hits, 6 runs all earned. He didn't allow a homer. He walked 3 and struck out 4. He lost to the Blue Jays. Good morning from San Diego, Forrest. How are you? 9-5 on the 18th in a Dolly Parton game. Overall, 76 2/3, 79 hits, 40 runs, 36 earned, 9 homers. He walked 31 and has struck out 43. Record overall is 3-2 with an ERA of 4.23. And this will be the lineup he'll face. Damaso Garcia leads off at second base. Rance Mullenix at third will bat second. Afternoon, Zelderon, how are you? Lloyd Mosby is in center. He'll bat third. Willie Upshaw cleans up at first. George Bell will bat fifth and play left. Len Matusik is your DH. He'll go sixth. Ernie Witt behind the plate goes seventh. Why is Jesse Barfield hitting eighth and right? I don't know. Tony Fernandez at short will bat ninth. Alexander threw 14 pitches in his half of the first. Defensively for the Twins, Mickey Hatcher an 8-4 in left. Kirby Puckett an 8-9 in center. Tom Bernansky a 5 and an 8 in right. Gary Gaetti a 9 at third. Greg Gagne is a 7 at short. Tim Tuffel a 4 at second. Kent Hrbek a 5 at first. Tim Loudner a 4-3 behind the plate, and Mr. Smithson's a 5 on the mound with a .957 fielding percentage. Garcia steps up, 273, a homer, and 16 RBI, and he'll lace this one into left field past Gagne for a base hit. So a leadoff single for Garcia. We gotta make the play-by-play box smaller. So I can see whether or not to steal. Mullenix at 336. Rance has 4 homers and 19 RBI. Smithson throws to first, and Garcia's back. Now he'll go to Mullenix. Rance laces this one for extra bases all the way to the alley. Garcia will go to third. He will route third, and they'll send him. The throw goes in the infield, and it's 1-0 Toronto. So Mullenix hits his 10th double of the year, and that brings up Mosby. 290, 8 homers, and 37 RBI. Good-sized crowd here at Exhibition Stadium on a warm and windy night in Toronto. Pitch to Mosby. Ground ball right back to Smithson, over to first, and that's the out. Brings up Willie Upshaw. Willie at 284. 4 homers, 12 doubles, and 29 RBI. 1 out. Smithson from the stretch. Struck him out. He got him to swing and miss on a 2-2 fastball. 2 out. And that'll bring up Bell. George at 310. 12 homers and 45 RBI. Smithson deals. There goes Mullenix. Popped up left side. Gaetti, Hatcher coming in. Gaetti calling for it, and Gary makes the catch. But the Jays get a run on 2 hits. They leave a runner on after 1. It's 1-0 Toronto. At some point, Randy Bush is going to hit. Right now, he's at 0.97 with a homer and 6 RBI. He must have compromising pictures of somebody to be the DH. He hit 239 on the real year. Pitch to Bush. Slow ground ball to second. Garcia with a bang-banger, and Bush is safe. And gives me an evil eye in the box. So an infield single for Randy Bush. His second hit for the Twins. Here's Gaetti, 233, 6 homers, and 24 RBI. Alexander throws to first, and Randy is back. Let's see if the Twins try to move some offense along here. They're going to pitch out, nothing doing. So the count is a ball and no strikes. To Gaetti. Pitch to Gary. Long drive to left, and that ball is gone. I think. Yep, it's gone. George Bell. No, it's a double off the wall. That's interesting. Bell was late to jump. He's running around the corner. He'll throw it. Fernandez with a relay home, and Randy is safe. Out! They got him! They got him! Well, let me do my best John Sterling. I thought that was gone, and I thought he was safe, but he's not. Bush slid past the tag, but never put his hand on home plate. So Gaetti gets the double, and there's 1 out. That was a strange play. Here's Timmy Tuffel. Timmy at 243, 5 homers, and 20 RBI. Gaetti on second. Pitch to Tuffel. Struck him out. A 1-2 fastball swung on and missed. And 2 out for Gagne. Greg at 245, a homer, and 7 RBI. The double by Gaetti looked like that was just rising. It was a laser shot anyway. It clipped the top of the wall, and Bell played the carom perfectly. Shame on me thinking he wasn't paying attention. I'm bad. Pitch to Gagne. Greg slaps this one to third. Mullenix across the way, and that will retire the side. The Twins get a runner thrown out at home plate. No runs, 2 hits, and leave a runner on after an inning and a half. 1-0 Toronto. So Len Matuzik Ernie Witt and Jesse Barfield to face Smithson here in the second. Len at 220, a homer, and 13 RBI. And he kind of hits a check swinger over the mound. Gagne has to hurry, and Matuszek is safe. He's safe. The throw pulled Herbeck off the bag, and Matuszek reaches on an error. That one will go on the scoreboard. Bush getting thrown out on the plate was an error, and that will not be on the scoreboard. Here's Ernie Witt, 233, 6 homers, 24 RBI. Matuszek stays, that's in the left center. Puckett will pick it up. Len has good speed, but he'll hold at second. So first and second, and nobody out for Jesse Barfield. Jesse at 311, 6 homers, and 25 RBI. Feel free to leave your PG-rated comments on the labor situation in baseball. Pitch to Barfield. Jesse hits that one deep down the line and left, and that ball is gone. No doubt about it. Gagne and Hatcher started. It wasn't going to do any good, and it's 4-0 Toronto. Smithson just left that one way over the middle of the plate, and that ball was easily gone. The wind has shifted now. It's blowing out to right center at 17. For Barfield, that's his 7th of the year. And now bring up Fernandez. Tony at 288, a homer, and 14 RBI. And it's 4-0 Blue Jays with nobody out here in the second inning. Fernandez skies this one to shallow right center. Puckett rides the Schwinn and drops it. Fernandez was hustling all the way. The wind kind of pushed that away from Kirby, and it hit off the front of his glove. And so Fernandez reaches on the air. Tribe fan has it pretty much right. Tale as old as time. Millionaires versus millionaires, while us fans are second-class citizens. Opening 9 for Toronto. Smithson has thrown 34 pitches, 1 inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. The home run to Barfield. No walks and a strikeout. Garcia singled and scored his first time up. We go day by day starting next Tuesday. So games of Saturday, June 8th. And then we're just going to go day by day until they decide they're going to play. Pitch to Garcia. Donoso hits a ground ball to third. Gaetti across the way, and that's an out. Fernandez moves to third. 1 out for Mullenix. Rance doubled and drove in his 20th of the year. Smithson from the stretch. That's in the left. Hatcher comes in, and Mickey will make the catch. Will Fernandez tag? He will, and Hatcher doesn't even throw the plate. So 2 out. And Minnesota making a lot of mental errors out there. It's 5-0. Nobody on for Mosby, who's sitting on a 9-game hitting streak. He's 0 for 1. Smithson's pitch. Into right. Back goes Brunansky to the track, and that ball is caught and foul. Nope, it hooked foul. Whoever designed this park did a bad job. Oh, wait, that was me. So a full count to Mosby. And Lloyd draws the walk. Oh, no. So our first bot in a while. Upshaw struck out his first time up. Mosby on first, and Upshaw draws the walk. So first and second for Bell, who's 0 for 1. 5-0 Jays, 2 out here in the bottom of the second. And George lines out one to Gagne, and the inning's over. But Jesse Barfield with a 3-run shot, 4 runs, 2 hits, 2 errors after 2, 5-0 Jays. So Doyle Alexander kind of now has an easy streak for his 7th win. Be Laudner, Puckett, and Hatcher here in the third. Tim at 250, a homer, and 7 RBI. Here's a fly ball left center. Mosby comes in, makes the catch, 1 out. So we'll do Daily 85 starting next week. We'll do a stream tomorrow, too. If you're looking for baseball to watch, I think most of you know this. RJL Network does a nightly game at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. He is doing Inside Pitch from the 79 season. Kirby Puckett's 0 for 1. Doyle Alexander, his opening 9, 31 pitches, 2 1/3 innings, 3 hits and a strikeout. The Core Sports Time Machine does a lot of baseball too. So if you're in a YouTube mood for that, there's plenty to watch. Pitch to Puckett. Kirby pops this one up left side. Mullenix in the foul territory makes the catch, 2 out. ESPN Plus will have a ton of college games. I think they might even do the Korean League. I was trying to find some stuff that streamed Japanese baseball, so there's plenty to get your fix. While these yahoos decide to figure out how to ruin the greatest game ever. Here's Hatcher. He's 0 for 1. There's a ground ball foul, third base side. Or you could be like, what's his name? Savage EU. And just spam people all day on Twitch. Oh, I got a DM from him. Mickey's 0 for 1. Ground ball to first. Upshaw to the bag. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Twins go in order. Bottom 3. 5-0 Jays. Here's Matuzik. Lenny is 0 for 1. He reached on an error and scored. And there's a base hit in the left field. Hatcher is going to let that go all the way to the wall. He should have cut that off, and Lenny has his 4th double of the year. So that's the 5th hit for the Jays. Here's Ernie Witt. Ernie singled and scored. His first time up. Pitch to Witt. There's a long drive to right, and this one's gone. In fact, Ernie hit that so hard he just got a rouge for the Argos. It's now 7-0. That's his 7th of the year. And that was a no-doubter. Tom Brunansky just turned and watched it go. So here's Barfield, who hit a 3-run homer in the last inning. I'll read what Midlife Crisis wrote in a moment. Jesse now has hit 7 homers and driven in 28. Smithson's bad day continues as Barfield walks. Bottom line. It's all about the bottom line, Midlife Crisis says. MLB should have seen the writing on the wall years ago when the NFL started making money hand over fist. MLB should have followed their model from the get-go until there are rules in place to force teams like Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and Oakland to spend the minimum amount of revenue they get from the rest of Major League Baseball instead of pocketing it and crying poor mouth. this will keep happening. It's like DC trying to catch up with Marvel, and they they keep making bad movies because of it. Don't disagree with any of that. Tony Fernandez scored. It was 0 for 1. Barfield on first. Nobody out here in the third. 7-0 Jays. In the right field, Bernansky makes the catch. That is a shame. You know, in the summer, Garcia, by the way, 1 for 2. Single to run scored. Smithson's opening 18 is terrible. 74 pitches, 2 in the third inning, 6 hits, 2 homers. Barfield and Witt. 7 runs, 5 earned. He's walked 3 and struck out 1. Barfield on first, 7-0 Jays. You know, in a summer where, depending on, the situation in the rest of the world, where things are going to be pretty much looking back to normal, you would think that baseball would have capitalized on that. You're going to be able to sit and go to a ball game this year and drink and not wear masks and all that. You'd think that there would just be some goodwill to get that done. And to guarantee that for 5 years we don't have to hear about this stuff. Pitch to Garcia. Line drive to Gagne for the out. Barfield is back. More head-scratching story. The lockout or the WNBA trying to, disband the New York Liberty for chartered flights. Now, why are they trying to do that? Here's Mullenix. Rants has doubled and driven home 2. Mr. Zalapsky, how are you? Wind blowing out to right center at 17. I take it the lake is behind the plate, right? Pitch to Mullenix. There's a base hit left center field. Hatcher will pick it up. Mullenix digging for 2. He won't get him. Barfield rounds third and scores. It's 8-0 Toronto. Mosby is 0 for 1 with a walk. Aren't all the WNBA teams owned part and parcel by an NBA team anyway, except Seattle? I mean, there's a casino that runs the Connecticut Sun. Laudner goes out to talk with Smithson. Mosby, slow ground ball to Gagne, over to Herbeck. And Mosby still running, and Lloyd is out. So they got him, and that will finally retire the side. But Ernie Witt, 2-run homer, and after 3, it's 8-0 Toronto. So let's see if the Twins... Oh, Las Vegas has no NBA. Okay. But again, it's not like they're nickel and diamond, these teams. Here's Herbeck. Can't single his first time up. Mark Davis owns the Vegas Aces. Did not know that. Herbeck slaps that one to Alexander over the first one out. Here's Bernansky. He's 0 for 1. Struck him out. Swung on and missed on a full count fastball. 2 out. Here's Randy Bush. Randy now hitting over 100 to 111. He singled and was thrown out trying to score. Pitch to Bush. Popped up left side. Mullenix will make the catch. So, no runs, no hits, no errors. Alexander making it look easy. 3.5 in the books. 8-0 Toronto. So here in the standings, and remember, starting next Tuesday, we go day by day. The Dodgers lead the Astros by 5.5. The Cardinals have a 7-game lead over the Cubs and an 11-game lead over the stumbling Mets. The Royals have a 5-game lead over Chicago. Chicago is one game under 500. They've won 7 straight. And the Jays have won 7-10. They lead Boston by 5.5. So lots of non-compelling storylines as we go to the day-by-day action in this replay. Picked this season because it was supposed to have a lot of pennant races. Do you see a lot of pennant races there? No. I can't imagine the Mets had an under 500 record after 47 games. Here's Upshaw. Willie walked and struck out. He's 0 for 1. He strikes out again, gets away from Laudner. He goes down to Herbeck for the out. 1 away for Bell. George is 0 for 2. Got him. So a good morning and a good afternoon from Smithson. A 1-2 fastball on the inside corner. Brings up Matusik. Has scored twice. He reached on an error and doubled. He's 1 for 2. There's a line drive to left. Hatcher is there and makes a good catch. He had the leap for it, and that will retire the side. Smithson finally gets a clean inning. We go to the 5th, 8-0 Jays. So Gaetti, Tuffel, and Gagne up. Gary doubled is 1 for 1. There's a line drive to Garcia, 1 out. Here's Timmy Tuffel is 0 for 1. I think one of the larger problems that baseball has, and it has a lot of large problems, is we go back to talking about football. There's no easy way to bet on baseball. It's not going to make you, the average viewer, a lot of money. Now that gambling is, sportsbooks are quasi-legal in most of the country. If you want to put 10 down on the Bears and the Packers, you can do that. In baseball, it's not so easy. There's a ground ball to first. Upshaw goes to the bag himself for the out. I suppose if you are a fan of fantasy baseball and do dailies, that's how you do it. Here's Gagne. He's 0 for 1. But to me, that's just kind of like betting on the horses. But beyond that, I mean, it used to be with baseball, and someone will correct me if I'm wrong, that you usually, when you bet on a team, you're betting on the starter. And with starters today, usually not, going around 5 1/3 innings, that's just not a safe bet. Pitch to Gagne. Here's a fly ball left center field. Mosby going back, but he will make the catch, and that will retire the side. Halfway home on a Wednesday afternoon here on Lake Ontario. It's the Blue Jays 8, the Twins nothing. Oh, we're back? Ahaha. If you joined us late, here's how. Here's what you missed. Rance Mulliniks with a double on the first to score Damaso Garcia, being a 1-0 Blue Jays. In the second, they bat around. They're set 9 to the plate. What's your take on that, gang? Do you bat around on the 9th batter or the 10th batter? Anyway, they scored 4 runs. A 3-run blast by Jesse Barfield made it 4-0, and then a sac fly from Rance Mulliniks to make it 5-0. In the third, they got a 2-run dinger from Ernie Witt and also scored them a rouge for the Argos. So the Argos will bank that point as they start their 85 season. Rance Mulliniks doubled home Jesse Barfield. 8-0 Jays. Mike Smithson, a 7-hitter through 4. 8 runs, 6 earned to 2 homers. Walked 3 and struck out 3. Doyle Alexander has thrown a 3-hitter. Ernie Witt, 2 for 2, single, a homer, his 7th, driven in 2 and scored twice. Mr. Smurf says you can bet on the leader before the 5th. But again, baseball is not an easy sport to bet on. And somehow, some way, when they figure this out, the 85 Argos need all the points they can get. Well, Ernie Witt gave him one. He bombed one into right field his last time up. Pitch to Witt. There's a line drive to Gagne. That won't get anybody anything. 1 out. Brings up Barfield. He hit his 7th of the year earlier. He was walked and homered. Pitch to Barfield. There's a long looping drive to left. Hatcher moves over, and Mickey makes the catch. 2 out. So I think that will be what baseball needs to work on for getting people who have extra money to spend. I mean, as Dave and I were talking before, Dave's going to do a hockey game today. Here's Fernandez. He's 0 for 2 with a run scored. About Bob Costas calling baseball a conversation, which it really is. In a world that really doesn't want to sit on the front porch anymore and listen to ball games on the radio. Pitch to Fernandez. There's a line drive to third. Gaetti's there, and that will retire the side. So Smithson gets him down again in order, but go to the 6th. It's 8-0 Toronto. So here's Laudner. Tim is 0 for 1. If the powers that be can figure out how to shave 10, 15 minutes a game, I'm all for it. If that means pitch clocks, especially with runners on base, I'm all for that as well. So what would you do? You know, in the chat, what would you consider to be the easiest fix once this all gets settled? Laudner's 0 for 1. Tim, right back to Alexander, 1 out. Brings up Kirby Puckett. Kirby is 0 for 2. And there's a slow chopper to Fernandez. Tony goes across the way. Kirby can run, and he is out on a bang-banger. So 2 out for Hatcher. Mickey is 0 for 2. All this talk has reduced my viewers to 4. Pitch to Mickey. He plops that one into right. Back goes Barfield. Jesse running. Makes the catch on the track. And that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. Alexander's 3 hit him so far. We go to the bottom of the 6th. 8-0 Jays. So Garcia at the plate. Smithson through 27 batters, 103 pitches. 5 innings, 7 hits, the 2 homers to Witt and Barfield. He has walked 3 and struck out 3. Saw on MLB Network the other night, Game 5 of the 83 World Series. Ripken worked a 7-pitch walk off Charlie Hudson in about 4.5 minutes. Oh. Good one from there, Zalapsky. Get rid of the blackouts streaming-wise, I think helps. Create a red zone type show to capitalize on daily fantasy. See, those are good things. Pitch to Garcia. Base hit, right center field. Brunansky throws it back in quickly, and they'll hold Garcia to a single. Or 2.5 minutes. That's about right. Mullenix has doubled twice. He now is 11, and he's driven in 3. He's 2 for 2. No, I think that's Encouraging batters to stay in the box needs to happen. Mullenix in the right. Bernansky will make the catch. I tailed away from him, but he got there. We're now blowing out to right at 17. Mullenix. It's a 1-2 count. He didn't get it. Again, I'm having a John Sterling day. Pitchers throwing strikes. Managers allowing pitches to stay in the game longer. Hitters making contact. Also institute a rule used in Ohio baseball, high school baseball, where you cannot leave the box during the at-bat unless time is called. I like that. I think now, because when we do resume baseball, Major League Baseball, there'll be a universal DH. I wonder if that will change the perception to allow pitchers to stay in longer. It certainly helped in the American League in the late 70s. The 78 Red Sox, not a pantheon for pitching. Mullenix slaps this one into right. Bernansky will pick it up. Rance is digging for 2. Safe. That's his 12th and his 3rd double today, as you graphically see there. So Garcia on 3rd, 2 on. Nobody out for Mosby. Lloyd is 0 for 2 with a walk. Anyway, the 78 Red Sox, again, not a paragon for pitching. No one would confuse Mike Torres and Dennis Eckersley for Koufax and Drysdale. But they had 53 complete games as a team. I'm not suggesting that they go back to that. Pitch to Mosby. Puckett will move over deep right center. That will score Garcia. Mullenix goes back to tag two. Garcia has good speed. He'll score without a throw. And that will do it for Smithson. Kurt Wartle coming in. This game coming to you from Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. Wartle making his 21st appearance of the year. Is 25 years old. Fastball pitcher at 98 and a fly ball pitcher. His last 4 appearances have been against Milwaukee in games the Twins all lost. He has no record at an ERA of 4.09. He last pitched on the 1st, an inning in a 3rd and a 12-6 loss. 35 pitches, 4 hits, a run. It was earned. So overall, 22 innings, 21 hits, 10 runs all earned, 4 homers. Goodness gracious, St. Marie. 10 walks and 17 strikeouts. Imagine watching a show where you get every Trout at bat, then switching to DeGrom innings and switching to a rivalry game, and then a rookie in their first at bat. MLB Tonight tries to do that, but not well. They did have a Grand Slam channel or Bases Loaded channel or something like that. But again, it needs to be streaming, and that's where they would need their TV part. You do that on something like ESPN Plus, which a lot of us have, and that's the way to do it. I mean, Red Zone was such a good idea for the NFL. Pitch to Upshaw, struck him out. So Wartle starts his outing with a strikeout. He could go about 30 pitches. Here's Bell, he's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. But if you just did that during game situations, they tried that with Yahoo too. But again, baseball is about 15 years behind the times when it comes to services. Pitch to Bell. There goes Mullenix. That's in the left. Hatcher. Is that gone? Or was that a double? I believe that's a double. Mullenix will score. That's gone. That's gone. And so Bell is homered, his 13th of the year. We really can't see down in that corner, and it's 11-0. So let's try this again. Bell swings in a long drive to left. Hatcher goes to the track, but he'll turn and watch it go. There, I corrected it. The Strike Zone channel, that's what you're referring to, and I think that was pretty much talking about what Zalapsky was talking about. I know DirecTV has a mix of games, and I remember when I subscribed to MLB TV, I'd have up the mosaic of 6 and just kind of go back and forth. Matuzik, they're going to pinch hit for him. Jeff Burrows, 227, a homer and 13 RBI. But again, the strike zone channel isn't carried all that much, if it even still exists. Pitch to Burrows. There's a line drive to Herbeck and Kent's there. And that will retire the side. Jays get 3 more on the 2-run shot by Bell and another. After 6, it's 11-0 Toronto. So 11 runs, 10 hits, no errors. The Jays have stranded 4. No runs, 3 hits, 2 errors. And they have stranded 2. Herbeck, 1 for 2, leads off for the Twins. The beauty of red zone, Zalapsky Smurf says, is they show every team is applicable. MLB Network will default to the Yankees and Mets all the time. Doesn't promote the entire product. I think one of the reasons, because of the time zone differences, is that for those of us who live on the East Coast, we're just not awake enough to see Trout, Betts, Kershaw, the Giants. And the way the scheduling works, they just don't only come east once. Pitch to Herbeck, popped up. Garcia for the out. Tatis, yep, San Diego. Here's Bernansky. Tom is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. I would love to see. I tell you that Bernansky is 0 for 2. Yeah, I did, with a strikeout. Alexander winds and deals. Ground ball to third. Mullenix will let that one go foul, and the count is 0-2. I would love to see, because I understand why you got to protect your regional sports network partners and that. If you can't show one game over the air a week, then when your game is done at like 11 o'clock instead of the 18,000th running of Judge Judy and Cops, do those condensed games. Show the game in a 20-minute version. So do the red zone thing on Sundays when all the games are during the day, a la the NFL. No, that's a good idea. And show this condensed game over the air in your market and get people excited. Yes, the A's are on. And wow, they came back and beat Boston. That's exciting. Bernansky, ground ball to Fernandez. Tony throws it over, and that's an out. So 2 out for Randy Bush, who's 1 for 2. The problem is that young talent is fantastic in Major League Baseball. Problem is a non-baseball fan wouldn't know them. Heck, a non-baseball fan, Giannis, Steph Curry, LeBron. Absolutely. I mean, it's a shame that Mike Trout isn't featured all that often. Pitch to Bush. There's a ground ball to Garcia. Damaso throws to first. Stretch time, 11-0 Toronto. Ernie Witt 2 for 3. He has a 2-run shot, his 7th of the year, and has scored twice. Didn't mention that Voice of Reason 1976 is our latest follower, number 219. The other problem is that baseball fans have a huge history fetish. And so, although, yes, games are handled differently now, how fair is it to compare everyone to Mickey Mantle and Sandy Koufax? Well, Koufax pitched to the point where he couldn't physically pitch anymore. Is that what you want? Pitch to Witt. Walked him. Baseball's poor attempt after they took the CBS money back in 1990 to pretty much ditch the game of the week was Sunday Night Baseball. But that was never the same. I don't know how many games in the new contract that Fox will have over the air. But you can't tell me that something one night a week, especially because it's not like people are watching TV anymore, but if you took like a Monday or a Thursday and just showed games on that specific day, I know you couldn't do it during football season, that would at least build some continuity. Not everyone is going to be Randy Johnson or Pedro Martinez. That's what made him special. Barfield is 1 for 2. He has walked, homered, scored twice, and driven in 3. Wartle deals, and that's fouled off the mask of Laudner. And as soon as Tim only sees one of Wartle, we'll ask him where he is, and Tim says Cleveland, and that's close enough, and we go on, and a one-strike count. Struck him out. He got him to look at a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. I think he heard that pop in the glove. 1 out for Fernandez. Tony is 0 for 3 with a run scored. And, of course, another one of baseball's biggest problems, it's all self-inflicted. No one likes to poop on baseball more than baseball. Pitch to Fernandez. That's into right field. Brunansky coming in will make the catch. And Witt goes back to tag. And we're back to first. 2 out for Garcia. Damaso is 2 for 4. He has singled twice and scored twice. And you have TV partners. And this, I'm not talking about Fox here. You have games on a certain 4-letter network that doesn't really care about the game. I think, being the old fuddy-duddy that I am, Laudner goes out to talk with Wartle, is that when you had the game of the week on NBC, Tuffel, by the way, gets that ground ball, throws to Herbeck, and that will retire the side. Jays get no runs, no hits, and leave a runner on. That's 5, no errors. To the 8th we go, 11-0 Toronto. You had a game television production that was produced by people who loved baseball, called by people who loved baseball, and a broadcast that was designed to let people who go from casual to serious fans. I know that times are different, and Zalewski makes a great point. The current 20-year-old wants highlights, doesn't care about how the game was played 20 years ago, and compelling star-driven content. MLB doesn't really address any of those. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So when you have 90 games a year shown on a network that wants to talk LeBron James all the time, or about itself, Gaetti 1 for 2 with a double, it's hard to be interested in something that when you're watching, when the people are doing it, aren't interested in. Line drive to left. Bell. 1 out. Here's Tuffel. Tim's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. I think Fox does a good job with baseball. But again, because of Joe Buck's schedule, this was not the case during the ABC days with Al Michaels and Keith Jackson. They called regular season games and had other assignments. It was important for Keith to go to Acapulco cliff diving, and then the Dodgers and the Phillies. Pitch to Tuffel. Ground ball to short. Fernandez across the way for the out. Alexander, through all this, has thrown a 3-hitter. Here's Gagdy. Greg is 0 for 2. So, long story short, you're presenting baseball by people who don't really care about baseball, and I think that has hurt a lot. Roy Smalley's going to pinch hit for Greg Gagne. Smalley is a pinch hitter, has a home run and driven in 2. 278 overall, 9 homers and 26 RBI. Chopper up the middle. Garcia over to first for the out. And that'll do it. No runs, no hits, no errors. Alexander cruising right along. We go to the bottom of the 8th, 11-0 Jays. Minnesota, no hits, no runs, 3 hits, 2 errors, and left 2 on. Blue Jays, 11 runs, 10 hits, no errors, and they've left on 5. Bob Costas fits what was good in the 80s and what's bad now. Yes, I find Costas, although I liked his interview with Graham Benzinger. I saw that on YouTube. He was so enthusiastic and now never misses an opportunity to criticize the current product. Yes, the 80s you could complain about AstroTurf and the cocaine and what was being done, as role models and blah, 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 and $1 million players. I mean, there was lots to complain about 35, 40 years ago. Pitch to Mullenix. Popped up. Loudner takes off the mask. That's a rainmaker, 1 out. I'm not going to complain about openers and starters only going 5 or 6. I mean, the whole point of the game is to win. Doesn't necessarily mean it's an entertaining product, but that's the type of product that's out there. If you don't like it, fine. Here's Mosby. Lloyd is 0 for 2, a walk and an RBI. His 38th. Wartle has done good work, but Mosby sends this one to right center, and that is gone. It won't be a rouge for the Argos. But it's going to bounce on that turf. There's a couple kids trying to get that ball. So Mosby extends his hitting streak. That was just a laser shot. It's 12-0 Toronto. Jays did bring their hitting shoes today, didn't they? I wonder if MLB Network will show a lot of minor league games. Here's Upshaw. Willie's 0 for 3, a walk and 3 strikeouts. 12-0 Toronto here in the 8th. And that's a line drive right field in the corner. Brunansky goes to get it. Upshaw is going to get 2 as soon as his little icon moves. It does. And Willie's digging for third. Brunansky with the throw, and he is in there. Argos got a touchdown, 2 rouges, and a field goal. And because they were so good today, they're going to get some Timbits as well. Here's Bell. Bell has a homer. He's driven in 2. He's 1 for 4. He's scored, obviously, on the homer and struck out. So the second triple for Upshaw. And Bell sends this one into right. Brunansky will make the catch. Upshaw goes back to tag and will score without a throw. And for the Jays, that's lucky number 13. Elvis Matthews says, I'm late to the conversation, but I really think this is will be a wake-up call to MLB. My wish was always 154 games, starting no earlier than the middle of April. I think 154 is fine, especially if you're going to expand the playoffs. I understand that's where the money is. I don't have a problem with that. Who's going to remember that Nola and Burns tied Seaver's consecutive strikeout record? I didn't realize they had been tied. I think Burns was pulled after 5 and Nola imploded and knocked out in the 4th or 5th. That's today's baseball for sure. Burrows is 0 for 1. 2 out, bottom of the 8th. Wartle now taking 1 for the team. Just like in the NBA and the NFL, there's 2 seasons, the regulars and the playoffs. As much as the Rams and the Bengals were a great story in the Super Bowl, does anyone really believe that the 2 4 seeds were the best teams in the NFL? Pitch to Burrows. He walked. Here's Witt. Ernie at 2 for 3. He has singled, homered, his 7th. 2 RBI. He scored twice and walked. And he struck out, so Wartle's day is done. Not before the Blue Jays put another 2 spot on the board. We go to the 9th. The Twins need 13 to tie and 14 to win. Think it can happen? You never know. So Alexander is throwing a 3-hit shutout. I didn't realize it had been tied. That tells you just how much we were paying attention. It's a record that stood for 50 years. Seaver did it against the Padres in 70. And those guys tied it within a week. I didn't know that. Here's Laudner. Tim is 0 for 2. Popped up. Witt to the screen. And it's back against the screen 2-2. We need an offensive coordinator. When the first round of the NBA playoffs are a joke, 80% of the time the higher seed wins. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Well, we are in a CFL stadium. Bud Grant might be watching. He was with Winnipeg, right? Pitch to Laudner. There's a foul ball, left side. Bell runs over, and that's a souvenir. Somebody from Mississauga got that one. The count is 2-2. Struck him out. That's only 3 for Doyle. Got him on a curve swinging. So 1 out for Puckett. 27 batters deep for Alexander. 8 1/3. 3 hits, 3 strikeouts, 104 pitches. Yep, BMO Field. Kirby's 0 for 3. Now he's 1 for 4. He'll single that one into right. Mike Riley coached in the CFL too. Yep. Here's Hatcher. He's 0 for 3. Alexander to the plate. Ground ball to Fernandez. They might get 2. Fernandez goes across to Upshaw. And Hatcher is out. So Puckett moves to second, 2 out for Herbeck, who's 1 for 3. Somebody can correct midlife crisis if he's wrong. I watched the Nola game, and he was cruising, just ran out of gas. Still thought it was a big deal, even by today's standards. Who'd he do it against? So 2 out for Herbeck. Yeah, the same base hit to right yesterday, and the right fielder threw the runner onto first. 9-3. Not many of those. Alexander deals. Popped up. Right side. Garcia. Doyle has a 4-hit shutout, and the Blue Jays beat the Twins 13-0. So 13 runs, 12 hits, no errors, and the Jays left on 6 for good measure. The Twins, no runs, 4 hits, 2 errors, and they left on 3. Doyle Alexander is your digital dice player of the game. You need a plus stuff. A 4-hitter, and he strikes out 3. Wartle, although those numbers aren't great, or good even, average, I thought he pitched okay till he ran out of gas. So let's do the rest of the day in baseball. And now we can show you this while we wait for the computer to do its thing. The Jays are the best hitting team in baseball in the American League at .282. They're the second best ERA behind the Tigers. And Minnesota had the best defense. So the rest of this Wednesday, we're going to keep the rest of this week's schedule as is. So we'll do Friday's game tomorrow. But when we're back with you next Tuesday, we're going day by day. Sing Godspell to yourself. So the rest of this Wednesday, The Cubs beat the Braves 6-2. Scott Sanderson goes to 4-3. Shields 0-1, and Lee Arthur Smith is 12th save. Montreal beats San Francisco 6-2. Gary Lucas his first win. Mike Krukow 5-5. Sal Butera his second of the year. He goes 2 for 4. Detroit beats Seattle 6-5. Jack Morris goes to 3-9. I guess he could pitch to the score a little more often. Nunez 0-1. Phil Bradley 3 for 5, 2 homers. Now has 12 in a 4 RBI game. Hey, the Reds won. They beat the Pirates 3-2. Ted Power goes to 2-2. Cecilio Guante falls to 4-1. George Hendrick. Where's Todd B when you need him? He's 2 for 3 with a double. Orioles beat the Angels 9-6. Tippy Martinez goes to 2-0. Pat Clements 2-3. Cal Ripken 2 for 5, his 12th of the year, and drives in 3. Milwaukee beats Kansas City 5-4. Ray Searage 1-1. Dan Quisenberry takes a loss. He's 2-2. Paul Molitor 3 for 5 with a double. The Astros get past the Cardinals 7-4. Bill Dawley, or Ken Dawley, gets the win 1-1. Danny Cox takes his first loss of the year, 6-1. Denny Walling 4 for 5, his 4th of the year with 2 RBI. Lamar Hoyt shuts down the Phillies 4-0. He's 6-5. Charlie Hudson is 0-5. Louis Aguayo 2 for 2. And the Mets beat the Dodgers and 6-2. Joe Sambito 1-1. Jay Howell takes a loss. George Foster 2 for 6, 7 RBI, or 7th homer of the year, and 2 RBI. And so tomorrow's game will be Kansas City and California. And then we go daily. We won't stream every day, but we will go 3-4 times a week, and we're just going to slow this replay down to, we're just going to move 1 day at a time instead of 3 games a week. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. So noontime tomorrow, it'll be the Angels and the Royals. And until then, I'm Ron Juckett. We'll talk to you the next time. Have a good night, everybody.